Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's President Draupadi Murmu to be conferred honorary doctorate in Algeria. She will inaugurate an Indian centre at the Hama Garden at Yarden Desai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates International Telecommunication Union in New Delhi, says India is world's second largest 5G telecom market and is now working on 6G. Ties plunge further between India and Canada as both the countries expel top diplomats over murder accusations. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to attend SCO Summit in Islamabad today. Security tightened as leaders start gathering. So India's President Draupadi Murmu is in Algeria on the first leg of a three-nation visit. The President will visit the Sidi Abdallah Science and Technology Pole, which is a hub of universities where an honorary doctorate will be conferred upon her. She will thereafter be visiting the seawater desalination project at Malaya of Tipaza. She will be inaugurating an India Centre at the Hama Garden at Yarden Desai in Algiers by planting saplings from India. President Murmu will leave for Mauritania tomorrow. In the final leg, the President will visit Malawi from 17th to 19th October. The three-nation visit by the President aims to further expand and strengthen India's ties with the countries in Africa. And President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is on a state visit to three African countries, Algeria, Mauritania and Malawi, from 13th to 19th October. This is the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to the three African nations. Telling us more about the President's visit so far, DD India's Amit Mukherjee gets us this report.
President Draupadi Murmu, who is on a three-day visit to Algeria, held a bilateral meeting with the country's President Abdelmajid Tebboune on Monday to take the relationship between the two countries to a higher level. The two leaders discussed ways to strengthen India-Algeria relations further with a special focus on trade and investment. President Murmu reaffirmed India's continued support of Algeria and commitment to Africa.
भारत और अल्जीरिया का कॉलोनियलिज्म के विरुद्ध संघर्ष का साझा इतिहास रहा है तथा हम अपने लोगों के लिए समृद्धि लाने की आकांक्षा में एकजुट हैं। आज मैंने राष्ट्रपति तेवन के साथ विभिन्न विषयों पर विचार विमर्श किया। मैंने राष्ट्रपति जी को भारत के निरंतर समर्थन का आश्वासन दिया। हम दोनों ने व्यापार और निवेश पर विशेष ध्यान देते हुए अपने संबंधों को और ऊंचे स्तर पर ले जाने का संकल्प लिया।
President Murmu also addressed the Algerian Indian Economic Forum. She said that India can share its accomplishments with Algeria.
India has achieved many accomplishments in areas such as science and technology, IT, fintech, pharma, space, startups, and renewables. We would be happy to share our experiences in these areas with our Algerian partners. President Taiwan and I firmly believe that it is time that we further strengthen this partnership and impart momentum towards a new era of cooperation between our two countries.
Highlighting the ease of doing business in India, President Murmu also invited Algerian companies to invest in India. Earlier, President Murmu laid a wreath at the Maqam-e-Shahid Memorial in Algiers and paid tribute to the soldiers who laid down lives in Algerian War of Independence. She also visited the National Museum of the Mujahid, commemorating Algeria's struggle for liberation.
Algeria and India has been having cordial relationship with cooperations in the field of oil and gas, defense and space technology. Indian companies have also been working in the infrastructure and manufacturing sector. President Murmu's visit is only going to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the two countries. With camera person Sandeep Kumar, Amit Mukherjee in Algiers for DD India.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated one of the most significant global events in telecommunications, the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 in New Delhi a short while ago. It is for the first time that ITU WTSA is being hosted in India and the Asia Pacific. Hosting the event will provide the country an opportunity to play a key role in shaping the global telecom agenda and to set the course for future technologies. PM Modi also inaugurated 8th India Mobile Congress 2024, Asia's largest technology expo. PM inspected the exhibition along with India's Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. While addressing the event, PM Modi said India's digital vision worked on 4 pillars: cheaper devices, connectivity reaching all corners, affordable data and digital first.
भारत हजारों वर्षों से वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के अमर संदेश को जीता रहा है। हमें G20 का नेतृत्व करने का अवसर मिला, तब भी हमने वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर का ही संदेश दिया। भारत दुनिया को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से बाहर निकालकर कनेक्ट करने में ही जुटा है। प्राचीन सिल्क रूट से लेकर आज के टेक्नोलॉजी रूट तक भारत का हमेशा एक ही मिशन रहा है, दुनिया को कनेक्ट करना और प्रगति के नए रास्ते खोलना।
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also added that there are more than 200 mobile units in India today as compared to 2 in the year 2014.
2014 में भारत में सिर्फ 2 मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट थी, आज 200 से ज्यादा है। पहले हम ज्यादातर फोन बाहर से इंपोर्ट करते थे, आज हम पहले से 6 गुना ज्यादा मोबाइल फोन भारत में बना रहे हैं। हमारी पहचान एक मोबाइल एक्सपोर्टर देश की है और हम इतने पर ही नहीं रुके हैं। अब हम चिप से लेकर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट तक दुनिया को एक कंप्लीट मेड इन इंडिया फोन देने में जुटे हैं।
So India aims to be a global leader in 6G technology following significant progress in 5G and 4G. India's Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia highlighted the ambition at the World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly on Tuesday. Now 4G, 5G and 6G are all generations of wireless cellular technology and they differ in terms of speed, latency and maximum device connectivity. Let's know more about the difference between 4G, 5G and 6G technologies through graphics. So basically the key differences between 4G, 5G and 6G are in terms of speed and capacity, as each generation significantly increases speed and capacity. 4G brought mobile broadband when 5G came in, enabled real-time applications, and in future 6G aims to support even more advanced use cases. Talking of latency, reduced latency with each generation is seen enabling new applications that require real-time communication, coming to frequency bands now. Higher frequency bands with each generation allowing for greater bandwidth and faster data rates. Now technological innovations, each generation introduces new technologies and architectures to improve performance and efficiency. And addressing the ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly, India's Minister of Communications Jyotiraditya Scindia hailed the changes incorporated in Telecommunications Act 2023 to address the challenges of the digital era. He said the amendments reflected government's commitment to fostering innovation and enhancing connectivity.
The recent changes to the Telecommunications Act 2023 is a case in point. It has been designed such a way so as to modernize India's telecom framework, drawing light upon hitherto unaddressed areas such as the high potential sector of satellite communications, addressing the challenges of the digital era, the most important being cyber security. The telecom sector, much like other growth critical sectors in India, is aggressive, is ambitious, and its outlook in our journey from our Amrit Kal to our Shatabdi Kal is to lead the world.
And India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Ajay Shankar will visit Pakistan today to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. This would be the first high-level visit from India in years amid continuing strain in ties between the two neighbours. Ahead of which leaders have started arriving for the heads of government gathering in Pakistan capital Islamabad. Chinese Premier Li Qiang landed this morning, becoming the first Chinese Premier to visit Pakistan in 11 years. The Pakistan government has announced a 3-day public holiday in Islamabad with schools and businesses shut and large contingents of police and paramilitary forces deployed. The 23rd meeting of the SCO, which comprises 9 full members including China, India, Iran and Russia, is scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, India-Canada ties have been strained for over a year and now they are plunged even lower over the same issue. India has expelled 6 Canadian diplomats, including Acting High Commissioner and Deputy High Commissioner. It has asked them to leave India before October 19. Now, Indian government has also announced the withdrawal of its High Commissioner and other diplomats from Canada, citing concerns over their safety due to Justin Trudeau-led Canadian government's actions amid rising extremism. Let's take a look at this report.
India and Canada have been at daggers drawn ever since Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a statement in the Canadian Parliament in September last year, charging India of having a hand in the alleged killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India had dismissed those charges with contempt and demanded proof from Canada. Now, not only has Canada repeated its unfounded allegations, but it has also sent a diplomatic communication to India suggesting that the Indian High Commissioner in Ottawa and other diplomats are persons of interest in a matter related to an investigation. In a sharply worded statement, India's External Affairs Ministry has said the Government of India strongly rejects these preposterous imputations and ascribes them to the political agenda of the Trudeau government, that it is centred around vote bank politics. The Indian Foreign Ministry further said that this communication has come despite the Canadian government not sharing a shred of evidence with the Indian government, even after repeated requests. It was also said that the latest step follows interactions where assertions were made sans facts. The move leaves no doubt that there is a deliberate strategy to smear India for political gains. Prime Minister Trudeau's hostility to India has long been in evidence. Trudeau's 2018 India visit was aimed at currying favour with the vote bank. Trudeau's 2018 India visit rebounded on him to his discomfiture. Trudeau's cabinet has included individuals who have openly associated with an extremist and separatist agenda regarding India. Trudeau's naked interference in India's internal politics in December 2020 showed how far he was willing to go. His government was dependent on a political party whose leader openly espouses a separatist ideology vis-à-vis India. Trudeau's government has been under criticism for turning a blind eye to foreign interference in Canadian politics. Trudeau's government has deliberately brought in India in a bid to mitigate the damage. The latest development of targeting Indian diplomats is the next step in damage control. It's no coincidence that the move has been made when Trudeau is to depose before a commission on foreign interference. The move also serves the anti-India separatist agenda which the Trudeau government has constantly pandered to for narrow political gains. The Trudeau government has consciously provided space to violent extremists and terrorists. Space has been given to harass, threaten and intimidate Indian diplomats and community leaders in Canada. Death threats have been issued to Indian diplomats and others. All such activities have been justified in the name of freedom of speech. Some anti-India individuals who entered Canada illegally have been fast-tracked for citizenship. Multiple extradition requests from the Government of India for terrorists and organised crime leaders living in Canada have been ignored. The MEA also said that India's Canadian High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar is the senior-most serving diplomat and the aspersions cast on him ludicrous and deserve to be treated with contempt. India also went to the extent of saying that it has taken cognizance of the activities of the Canadian High Commission in India that serves the political agenda of the Trudeau regime. Canada had to withdraw 41 diplomats from Delhi last October when India demanded parity over diplomatic representation. Canada has the second largest Sikh community in the world after India, making around 2% of that country's population. Sikh separatism, stamped out in India, has found shelter there and holds political sway in some pockets. National elections are due in Canada in October 2025, and an increasingly unpopular Trudeau government is doing all it can to play vote bank politics with an issue critical to India's national security. With Gautam Roy, Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
And the Election Commission of India is all set to announce the schedule for assembly elections that are to be held in the western Indian states of Maharashtra and eastern India's Jharkhand on Tuesday. The Election Commission has said it would hold a press conference to announce the poll schedule at 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The term of the 288-seat Maharashtra Assembly will end on November 26, which means the poll process has to be completed before that. The term of the Jharkhand Assembly with 81 seats will end on January 5th, 2025. As per reports, with around 50 by-polls due, the Commission could also announce the election dates for those. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. We'll give you all the updates from West Asia conflict as Benjamin Netanyahu vows to hit Hezbollah without mercy. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris hit the campaign trail in battleground state of Pennsylvania, one of the 7 key U.S. swing states.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories, updates now from West Asia conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to hit Hezbollah without mercy a day after the group's deadliest strike on Israel. Hezbollah's drone attack on an Israeli base killed 4 soldiers on Sunday, while several others wounded in the attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the attack site in south of Haifa and vowed to continue to strike Hezbollah without mercy.
We are continuing to fight. We are paying painful prices, but we have great achievements which we will continue to make. I would like to make it clear, we will continue to strike Hezbollah without mercy everywhere in Lebanon, including Beirut.
Meanwhile, UNIFIL has refused to relocate from southern Lebanon. The UN force has said that it would remain in place despite pressure from Israel to leave its positions. UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre said the decision has been made that UNIFIL would currently stay in all its positions in spite of the calls that were made by the Israel Defense Forces to vacate the positions that are in the vicinity of the Blue Line. 5 peacekeepers were injured in a series of incidents last week, with the latest seeing the UN force accuse Israeli troops of breaking through a gate and entering one of their positions. And the UN Security Council for the first time on Monday expressed strong concerns over peacekeepers being wounded. The UNSC has released a statement expressing support for UNIFIL forces after several days of attacks on UNIFIL positions in southern Lebanon. The 15-member council also urged all parties to respect the safety and security of the personnel and premises of the UNIFIL. Now, China on Monday sanctioned Taiwanese businessman Robert Tsao and lawmaker Puma Shen for alleged criminal and pro-Taiwan independence activities. In a statement, the Taiwan Affairs Office said the Black Bear Academy that both men were associated, which was seeking to incite separatism that would endanger cross-strait ties. The move comes as China on Monday launched fresh military drills around the democratically governed island that China claims as its own. Beijing said the drills were a warning against separatist acts of Taiwan independence forces while denouncing Taiwan leader Lai Ching-te of the DPP. Also, China's action drawing condemnation from US and UK. The United States said China's actions were unwarranted and risk escalation as it called on Beijing to act with restraint, while Britain doesn't support any unilateral attempts to change the status quo and calls for restraint and the avoidance of any further actions that may undermine peace and stability in the region. Now, South Korea's military fired warning shots on Tuesday near the heavily fortified border with the north after Pyongyang's military blew up sections of roads linking the two countries. Earlier today, North Korea has blown up sections of the road north of the military demarcation line dividing the countries. Tensions on the Korean peninsula have been increasing amid an escalating war of words after the North accused its rival of sending drones over the country's capital, Pyongyang. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had overseen on Monday a meeting with defense and security officials to discuss how to respond to enemy's serious provocation that violated the sovereignty of the DPRK. And the latest from Russia-Ukraine conflict, Russia sees one more settlement in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region, while Ukraine reported on the same day repelling multiple Russian attacks on the front lines. Russian Ministry of Defense confirmed that military have killed Ukrainian troops and destroyed Ukrainian armored vehicles and several personal equipments. The Russian tactical air, missile and artillery forces had also attacked the Ukrainian forces in over 119 regions. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported 107 battles in the front lines since Monday. As per the direction of Pokrovsk, the Russian military launched over 18 attacks on Ukrainian positions. On the Kurakhov front, Russian forces have carried out 29 assaults on multiple residential areas. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Pennsylvania, one of the 7 key U.S. swing states. During a campaign stop at Erie, Harris slammed Trump for his ominous comments about the enemy within the United States and threat to deploy the military domestically. Recent polls show Trump and Harris are neck and neck in the 7 swing states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina.
Telling her what to do. Donald Trump, I think in our collective opinion, certainly mine, is an unserious man. But the consequences of him ever being president again are brutally serious. Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power. That's what he's...
And Donald Trump also hit the trail in the state with a town hall outside Philadelphia. Earlier in an interview, Trump dismissed Biden's awareness and emphasized that the real threat comes from within the country.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, Thanks for watching DD India Live.